this is Jia. Today we're going to talk about how to manage your managers by setting up effective one-on-one meetings with them. In today's video, I will be covering several topics. First, how to set up the meeting, how frequently you need it to set up, and the second is your dress code for the meeting. Third, always bring your agenda. Fourth, what are the potential topics you wanted to bring to the meeting? Fifth, I wanted to emphasize this is your chance. Seize this chance to catch up with your manager, to pitch your idea, to discuss the status of the projects you're working on. And the last but not least, what are your action items and the follow-ups before your next meeting and during this time, and what can you do to improve that? So first, how to set up the meeting. I would suggest set up a recurring calendar invite to depends on how intense your week can be. For example, I set up a weekly meeting with my manager, so that fits the purpose of a week of workload, and it's easier to get everyone on the same page. But whenever it works for you, it could be weekly, bi-weekly, depends on your workload. I would say try not to reschedule too much. You wanted to get into the rhythm of every week at the same day, same time, that everyone started to grow that habit to check in, to catch up, so that it will be a positive reinforcement. And if you wanted to, if something happens that you couldn't make the meeting, yes, you could definitely reschedule it, but try to eliminate the times. And then for the timing, I would suggest Monday, every Monday, because that's the beginning of the week, and you wanted to clarify that here's your objectives, here's your priorities for the week. You wanted to set up the week correctly. This week it's going to be a light agenda. You can always shorten it from 30 minutes to 15 minutes and give back that 15 minutes, but try to have it every week. Second, how to dress to impress. Depends on which industry you're in. If you're in finance, you're in legal, you're in corporate environment, then I would say everyone is dressing business or business casual, even on Friday. Make sure you stick to that very formal, you want it to look smart in those meetings. You want it to impress your manager, or you want it to keep your points straight and clear. So I would suggest avoid all the noises. That if you wanted to wear a funny shirt, definitely not wear it on the same day that you will have one-on-one catch-up with your manager, because you don't want all the prints, the funny prints on your shirt to distract them. You want it to get your point across, so definitely avoid any noises as much as you could. So I would say dress smart, dress formal to that meeting, and you might be surprised how important that will be. It's like a sales pitch. You want it to dress to the best you can. And the third, bring an agenda with you and prepare before the meeting. What are you gonna talk about? What are the topics you wanted to cover? Whether it's seeking approval from your manager, whether to escalate an issue, or you wanted to bounce some ideas off your manager, or you wanted to pitch a new idea. That's your potential topics, and you can go over that each week, trying to see what's really my priority for this week, and you wanted to get that across. Benefit of having agenda and bring it with you is that you can walk across those agenda, those topics in the first 1 minute with your manager. If your manager happen to needs that 5 minutes to write a response to certain email, or they just wanted that 5 minutes window, so they might shorten your meeting from 30 minutes to 25 minutes. You wanted to give back that 5 minutes by having a clear agenda, so you know that 3 out of 5 items that you definitely wanted to cover, and 2 might be if we have time, it's better to talk about. So you can prioritize things and get the first things first done. Or same, super organized, super logical, that you bring an agenda, and it helps you to keep on track as well. And once you discuss something, you can even check off your list, bring a notebook to write down some of the actions and some of the notes you're getting. The next point, I wanted to emphasize the point of having those meetings. So for some people, it might be kind of awkward, or you don't even know what to talk about. Oh, every week I gotta talk to my manager. Don't treat it as a responsibility, treat it as an opportunity. It's your opportunity to connect with your manager, especially when your manager is super busy, his or her agenda is full packed, double booked. Then those 30 minutes, 15 minutes might be the only chance in the whole week that it's only for you and your manager. It's for you. It's your time to shine. It's your time to pitch that idea you always wanted to try. It's time that you bring that point. You feel like mistreated, or you feel this opportunity should be yours, or something like that. Don't be afraid to bring the ideas up, but definitely think about it before you bring it up. So make sure it's a well evaluated topic that you wanted to bring up. Treat it as a presentation. It's a meeting version of the presentation, but definitely it's that moment you can show your manager, besides your BAU work, besides your fabulous presentation, then this is your verbal presentation. This is a chance that let your manager know that besides your BAU work, you're still thinking about something else. You're trying to learn new opportunities. You're curious. You're just intellectual curious about something, or you have bold ideas, but you wanted to bounce some ideas off his or her mind first. And if in this video, if you leave some comments below, I can share with you a template of the agenda I normally use, and you can divide into sections. Like the first section, you could talk about this week I wanted to get those things down, but I wanted to get everyone on the same page that I'll be working on those. Those are the priorities. Like, help me check whether you think those should be the priorities as well. It's more like a checklist. And the second part, you might need answers from your manager. You might need approval, or a certain system, you might need approval. That could be your second. And the third topics, it could be something that the projects you're working on, you wanted to give an update to your manager. That could be your another section. So it really depends on which industry you're working on, what are the topics you really wanted to cover in this meeting. You can make it professional. Sometimes you can even throw personal stories. You can do small talks. You can really show that you care about this team, or you want it to be a good team player. Yes. The most important of all, or you're more curious about, what are the topics? Let's go into details about topics you wanted to talk about. If your meeting is 30 minutes, then probably the first 5 minutes will be talking about, like I mentioned, if you schedule on Monday, then you probably can ask, what's your, how did you enjoy your weekend? What did you do on weekends? Or some personal stories there. Or even this week you have a lighter agenda, you wanted to talk about personal achievement for 20 minutes. It really depends on your week, that week. It doesn't necessarily have to be all about work, all about you. You could even ask your manager, how's it going with your life? Show that you care. And the timing of the timing of the catch-up or one-on-ones with your manager, I would say there are 3 key points in the whole year. The first is beginning of the year, because it's time you set up the objectives or your plan for the whole year. Show that you have a game plan, you're a planner, you stick to your plan. And the second key point of the whole one-on-one meetings reoccurring series is the half year. It's midpoint. It's time to review that. What have you done in the first year? What have you done well? What could you improve? And really set the tone right for the second half of the year, and maybe readjust some of the list, and you adding new items to the second half of the year. Let them know. Make sure they're in the loop. Third time might be, it could be little awkward for many of us. It's the comp discussion. You wanted to make sure you're fully aware of what's the comp season in your company, in your environment. That say if the comp season is October, September, then you wanted to make sure you save some time ahead of time. You bring this topic up a month earlier, 2 weeks earlier, to give your manager some room, room to evaluate the whole team, room to evaluate you as a performer for the whole year, so that you're not shocking them. It shouldn't be a surprise. Like I said, one of the benefits of setting up recurring meeting is you get the habit of constantly checking in, so it wouldn't feel awkward to bring the comp discussion into the topics that you wanted to do, or even you could gradually leaning towards that area even 2 months ahead. If you feel strongly about your comp, but definitely bring it ahead of time and be prepared to talk about the uncomfortable topics you might feel. Because for me, it might feel a little awkward to talk about finance, to talk about my salary or my bonus or something with your manager. I would say it's probably for many of us will feel awkward, because it's like you're asking for something instead of you're giving updates. So make sure if you're constantly checking in, it will feel less awkward to bring this up, because you build that connections throughout the first few months already, or it's a continuing checking in so that your manager knows where you are or where your minds are. Back to the topics that you might want to include in your one-on-one. Of course, it might not cover all of them, but at least this has been working for me, and I work in finance industry. And if you're in, I would say like fashion industry, it would be the same. I would say some of the key points, it would be the same. And first of all, it could be as simple as a project update. Some of the projects you've been working on, you wanted to make sure your manager know where are we on those projects. Are we on track? Are we meeting a roadblock? Do we need to escalate something? That's definitely an opportunity, as I would say a standard one-on-one topics. You wanted to give your manager some updates. Second, it's really pitch some new ideas that you've been thinking. You wanted to improve some process that the team is been working on, or you might have some crazy new ideas you don't want it to bring in the team meeting with so many people. You wanted to test the temperature with your manager to say, this might be crazy, but I'm thinking this idea. What do you think? Use he or she as a sounding board, and to test whether this new idea is good or not. Before you do that, definitely make sure you think about this, and that's you're fully planned for that. Seem to be random idea. It's not, because it's an opportunity for you. So definitely be prepared for your pitch. Don't pitch something that you don't even believe in. And the next topics, I would say some of them might have misunderstanding of this, is some of the challenges you're facing. You're not showing you're weak by asking your manager, say, here's the challenge I'm facing, but what do you think, or something like that. But definitely don't bring the question. I would say bring a question and offer your manager that here's what you're thinking you would do, and ask them for their suggestions to kind of plan something instead of asking the blank question and wait for your manager to fill in. But if you have a challenge, then it would be a good opportunity that your manager has been through maybe a little bit more than you, and they have experience, so they can guide you through, give you suggestions, but make sure you explore some of the alternatives first, so that you bring those alternatives and the potential results. Another topic you can talk about is you wanted to escalate something. If in the process you see something's wrong or you really wanted to raise the concern, then that's your opportunity, because it's relatively a safe environment, so you can bring something that, hey, I don't think this really makes sense, but I wanted to hear your opinion first. If you're involved in some, I would say, call it extracurricular outside than your BAU work, you might have been involved in some of the clubs or some of the professional employee resource programs. You might be a leader of those programs, so you might want to give an update to your manager that what are the things that you've been working on, or are you planning an event, are you co-hosting something, are you looking for volunteers, or what are the commitment for this week. Say if you're planning a huge event for your company or something, it's definitely consuming your time. It could be outside of the working hours, but definitely let your manager know what are your expectations, what your commitment will be, both in time or you can say, oh, I might use this half an hour in this work time to do something, and this is really for this X, Y, and Z, and then definitely involve them in the process so they are in the know of what you're doing. Year end, you can even include that as one of your accomplishment. It's really, we're looking for well-rounded resources, well-rounded talents, so that's definitely a bonus point for you. And during the process you're involved in those employee resource platforms, you are acting at a certain role, then you can even bring back what are your lessons learned from those projects to show that you're really a person that can kind of summarize or absorb in all the experience, and you can use this to do better in your work. Another point, if you're seeing some of the projects going on but you're not currently involved, the one-on-one meeting is your chance to raise your hands up saying, hey, I wanted to involve or even know more about this project. Can I be a part of it? Or I wanted to learn more about this. What are the resources you want? Do you need extra hand in this project? Great opportunity to enlarge or enhance your platform to perform. It might be the same to you that there will be some trainings in your company that if you decided to spend some time to explore some of the new skills, and it might be helpful for your current work, you can definitely bring that result back saying, hey, I recently attended this training, I find it's very useful, here's some key takeaways. I think it will be beneficial for the whole team. You can even recommend this course to the whole team, or even suggest that in next team meeting, can I use 5 minutes to mention my takeaways? I would imagine every manager would say, yeah, sure, go ahead, because it would be beneficial for the whole team. You're doing a good thing for the whole team. It could be other topics, it could be some book you read recently. It's just sharing resources. That could be a big platform as well. And I would emphasize the way to build relationship, I would say in the beginning that manage your manager. It's really your manager is one of your key stakeholders. So how to manage your manager's expectations and involve them in and constantly checking in with them. I would say effective one-on-one meetings is definitely the most important way I can think of. Meetings, you wanted to get feedback. Once you finished a big project, you wanted to know what are the things you can improve, what are the things you did very well, to kind of set your standard, or you will know in next project what you need to do to get to the next level. Whether if you're looking for a salary increase, whether you're looking for a promotion, that could be the very good opportunities. Okay, I've been talking a lot here already. If you have any other topics that you think might be useful for effective one-on-one meetings with your manager, catch-up meetings with your manager, definitely leave the comments below and let me know what are your thoughts. And I would love to hear back from you. And if you haven't done so, please click the subscribe button. If you wanted to know more about cooking, lifestyle, and book reviews, definitely click the subscribe button and click also the little alarm, which will keep you updated on my videos. Thank you for watching to the end, and thank you for your support. We'll see you next time.